Hello, my name is Taylor Parker. I am 19 years old and currently in my first semester at Delaware Tech. School is Bad for Children by John Holt immediately caught my attention when searching for a piece of writing to speak on. Ask any student going through grades K through 12 and they will tell you that school is pointless, but this might actually be so. Learning and gaining education is not pointless. However, according to John Holt, the way schools are giving children an education may be a little backwards. School is Bad for Children speaks on a very controversial topic. Is the school system flawed? The author of this work, John Holt, seems to believe so. Holt makes a statement at the very beginning of the writing: "You come to school to learn." We tell him as if the child hadn't been learning before, as if living were out there and if learning were in here, and there were no connection between the two. I think the big message Holt is trying to get across to his audience is that people learn the most valuable information outside of school. Um, I can remember sitting in my algebra class in middle school and wondering, will I ever use this information ever again? Or when will I ever need to use it? Despite in my college math class, the material my algebra teacher presented to me has been utterly useless. Um, I would have much rather learned how to balance a checkbook or how to properly save money for monthly bills, like my car payment, for example. Holt also mentions the lack of interactions a child is allowed at school, meaning interactions with other children. Many schools have implemented the no talking rule in the hallway, and some have even went as far as no talking in the lunchroom. Holt says children learn the best from other children. I back this statement 100%. I know from experience that sometimes my biggest teachers were my peers in middle and even high school. There is only one teacher per classroom. It is hard for said teacher to make it around to help everyone, and it is impossible for he or she to do it all at once. I also found it to be my best bet to ask one of my peers for assistance. Another point Holt makes is schools are ugly, cold, and inhuman. Putting a child in a boring environment and they will be just that, bored. Schools are uncomfortable to say the least. You put the students in small desks that are hard as rock and in classrooms that are the temperature of a meat fridge. How can they be expected to provide their undivided attention? Holt is writing from the worldview of a teacher. For a teacher to point out the flaws of the system and even go as far as to write about it makes me believe like that's really saying something. Students should be able to feel comfortable in their place of learning. As Holt points out, children need to go out in the schools. Children need to go out and experience the world. They need to visit museums, factories, laboratories, etc., to see firsthand how the world they live in works. They need to speak with people whose jobs make the world we live in possible, like construction workers, factory workers, laborers, political figures, things like that. They need to speak to artists or poets to delve into their creative side. If teaching someone that y equals mx plus b is more important than teaching them how the world works, then the system has got to be more flawed than I originally thought. And I think this is the point that John Holt is trying to make in his writing School is Bad for Children. Students should be able to learn from each other and teach one another to improve their own learning. Knowing the real aspects of life and what makes it valuable are much more important than knowing that pi is an infinite number.